Hey, I've got the next mechanical study for you to work on. This is going to spend a little bit more time working on your fingers and getting them used to playing different intervals on the horn. All right. So I'm going to demonstrate this and talk you through them. There are 4 exercises that I want you to work on. The first 2 are related to each other, and the second 2 build off of the first 2. All right, so let's dig in. So for the first one, what I want you to do is to play note pairs of the A major scale. You're going to play these for 30 or maybe 60 seconds. Use a stopwatch to keep track of the time. You're going to play them at a comfortable speed that's not too fast. The whole point of this exercise is to train your finger muscles to know how to play these intervals on the horn. All right, so again, this is going to be done with your A major scale. So what you're going to do is you're going to play the root of the scale, then you're going to go to the next note of the scale, and then back to the root. And you're just going to go back and forth like that for these. Again, this is A major for alto, concert C, so D for tenor, that sort of thing. All right, so here are the note pairs that you're going to be working on. These all come from the concert C major scale, A for alto, D for tenor. On alto, it's going to be A to B, back to A. Then you're going to go A to C sharp, back to B. A to C sharp, and back to A. Then A to D, and back to A to E, back to A, etc., until you complete 1 octave of the scale. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I've got my little timer here. I'm going to set this for 30 seconds. 0 seconds is 30. All right, 30-second timer right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do these notes. I'm going to do these notes just for 30 seconds. The whole point is to just get my hand really comfortable with playing this interval. Okay, I'm on tenor, I'm not on alto, so I'm playing D to E, but it's going to be the same concept. All right, here we go. I'm going to do this for 30 seconds, okay? Whenever I need to take a breath, I'm going to follow the same thing I did last week. Just take a big breath, fill up my lungs as much as I can. Try not to have any tension in there, but just get yourself breathing deeply. All right, here we go. So I'm going to do this for 30 seconds to show you what I mean. Time's up. There's my timer. All right, that was 1. So I would do the next set of intervals the same way. The whole point is to just train my hands how to go from this note to this other note with some solid muscle memory. All right, I want to make sure I'm not having flip-flop. I'm not, doing like any weird stuff that causes extra notes to come into play. I want to make sure that I'm not lifting my fingers more than I need to. And I want to make sure that I am breathing correctly and keeping my hands really relaxed while I do this, okay? Again, the whole point is to just train myself. How much energy do I actually need to play these this interval? How hard do I have to hold the pads down? How much do I have to open the keys? How far off the notes do I have to... Or how far off the keys do I need to lift my fingers to get those notes to open? That sort of thing. We're just training ourselves to have all that in our subconscious. Okay, so now that plane has finished going by, you want to make sure that you don't rush this, okay? So, it may become boring and you may be like, you know what, let me just do it really fast. But you might notice that when you start doing it that fast, you get a lot of tension in your hand. If you have a lot of tension in your hands while you're doing this, you got to slow down, okay? We want to make sure that we do this without any tension in our hands when we're working on it. All right, so that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 takes this same idea and applies it to the chromatic scale. All right, same thing, 30 seconds each note. I'm not going to do it for 30 seconds. I'll just do it for like 10 or whatever. So I'm going to do the same scale starting from concert C, D for tenor, A for alto. Same thing. All right, we're going to continue it all the way up the until we reach 1 octave, okay? If you want to go further than that, feel free to, but once you hit 1 octave, that's a pretty good place to stop. All right, that's exercise number 2. So again, we're doing the chromatic scale, and again, the whole point is just to train our hands to just learn how to play these intervals with minimal effort, okay? Exercise number 3 is going to build off of this, except we are going to involve keeping time or a metronome. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this interval pair idea for 1 bar as 8th notes, and then hold the root note out for 1 bar as well. So this is going to be a 2-bar exercise. So I'm going to get myself counting 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The whole scale going up. You can come back down if you want to, if you feel so inclined to do that. Again, the whole point of this is to just train ourselves to know how to play these intervals without having to think about it. Hopefully the first 2 exercises will make these 3rd and 4th exercises really easy, because when you do the 3rd exercise, hopefully the work you put in on the first one will make it so you do not have to think about how do I move my hands if I'm moving from D to A. Like you spent 30 seconds or a minute already just doing it, just blah, 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 like that. So you shouldn't have to think about it. You shouldn't have to think very much about how do I move my hands. It's intuitive for me now because I've been playing this instrument for like 25, 27 years, something like that. Quite a long time. Okay. The 4th exercise does the same thing as the 3rd one, except it uses the chromatic scale. So I'll demonstrate that really quickly. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, so these are these 4 exercises that are going to basically train your hands and your embouchure how to play these intervals in a really relaxed way, so you don't have a lot of tension and so you don't choke the notes when you're jumping intervals like this and whatnot. Yeah. Alright, so these are, 4 more mechanical studies for you to work on that are going to just give you really, really strong fundamentals when it comes to playing the saxophone. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.